So, I just wanted to make some clarifications on the cover letter. I had a lot of people asking me about them. And so, the cover letter in your portfolio, all of the details of what the committee is looking for is in the student guide to the portfolio. So, I want you to, if you didn't read the chapter on cover letters, please do so. And as you're writing your cover letter, you might want to sort of scan it and remind yourself of what needs to be in there, what shouldn't be in there, and so on and so forth. But I also want to point out that I've been preparing you for the cover letters. So, when you did each of your essays, you also did a reflection. And it asked you about things like, your writing process and what you learned and all those sorts of things, and how you went about writing it, and what changed about your conception of writing, and all of those sorts of things. And that is essentially one of the major components of the cover letter, is to tell the committee members who are reading it what you learned and why that learning is going to make you capable of succeeding with a C or better in English 101. So that's a major part of the cover letter. So go back and look at your responses to those questions. They should have been emailed to whatever email you put in the email box. So go back, look at those responses, and use what you put in those responses to then write your cover letter. Okay? A couple other things that should be in your cover letter are, I always find it helpful when students write about what the assignments were for the two essays that they're including. So when you talk about the essays you're including, you want to kind of give us some context, right? Because not every English 97 is the same. So the assignments that I do aren't the same as the assignments that other people do. So they're not familiar with the assignment. So if you can sort of explain what the assignment was and how you tried to complete that assignment successfully, then that can give them a little bit of context for, how well you did or didn't do. So if you can give a brief explanation of the assignments for the two that you're including, that can be really, really helpful. Another thing that I find really helpful is to give really detailed examples of your learning. So not just saying things like, oh yeah, I learned how to do writing well. But getting into the details and talking about the five or the grading criteria that are in the student guide to the portfolio. Purposeful development, rhetorical situation, the thought, the order, if you can talk about what you learned about those elements in particular, that can be really useful to us. So, and don't just talk about grammar, okay? So many people are like, well, I just really learned that, I gotta have better grammar. And that's not really what we're looking for, right? Because in English 101, we're not looking for you to, write with perfect grammar. We're looking to see if you can think critically and communicate effectively and all those sorts of good things. And grammar is low on our list. So instead of focusing on how you improved your grammar, talk about how you improved other things, more important things, your ability to think critically, your ability to communicate something effectively, and how you got better at that, right? Because we don't want you to be perfect students. I mean, we don't expect that. Obviously, we would take it if it presented itself, but we don't expect that. We don't expect any of you to be perfect students. So if you can just show us that you're capable of growth, then we can see how that growth might continue as you move into English 101 and how that might make you potentially successful in English 101. So that's what we're looking for in the cover letter, is just for you to give us a little bit of context about the essays you're including, and also to give us evidence that you would be capable of succeeding in English 101. And not just saying, I would be capable, but giving us actual evidence and actual proof that you would be. That would go a long way toward convincing us. So that's my recommendation. Again, go into those reflections that you did and look at your specific answers and try to use that to determine like what specific examples am I going to use and how am I going to talk about it and what did I learn and how have I grown over the course of the semester. And you can use any of your answers from these reflections to build your cover letter. You can talk about essays that you're not including if you feel like there's relevant information, but I want you to focus really, heavily on especially the two that you do decide to include. So that's basically what I'm going to say about the cover letter. Don't overthink it. Don't, psych yourself out. Just be honest. And, we don't need a life story. We just need to hear why you are going to be okay in English 101. And how you did this semester, and that's what we're looking for. So use that as your guide, and of course, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, all right, bye guys.